Mark Raso's Awake is another apocalyptic movie, but with a twist. No one can sleep. Can you even imagine what it must feel like not to be able to sleep? I'd rather just die. Today we're going to give you the synopsis of the 2021 science fiction film Awake. Brought to you by Netflix, Awake starts with Jill Adams, played by Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin. She's the protagonist and a former U.S. Army medic, but she is also a recovering addict, evidently demoted from a medic to a security guard at a local college. But she steals drugs from the research lab to sell them. After a long day at work, Jill picks up her kids, Noah and Matilda, from their grandmother, Doris. In the car, the unexpected happens. The car loses power and control, crashes into another car, and falls into a lake. Are you claustrophobic? Then you should close your eyes for this scene because it's nerve-wracking, especially when kids are involved. Matilda drowns, but luckily a police officer comes to the rescue and revives the little girl. He also makes a shocking revelation by announcing that everything requiring electricity is malfunctioning. Jill and her family quickly rush to the hospital where they encounter coma patients who have just woken up. Freaked out about these strange things that have happened to them in their afternoon, they chill out at home trying to get a bit of shut-eye. The only problem is, they can't shut their eyes. Jill goes to the kitchen and finds her son Noah there. He tells her that there are shooting stars in the sky. Jill disagrees, saying they're satellites. Sounds really weird, doesn't it? Trying to figure out what the heck is going on, Jill goes to work noticing that everyone in the streets is awake. She encounters Dr. Murphy, a psychiatrist who claims that humanity has lost the ability to sleep. That's something essential for functioning. Without it, anyone would go mental and eventually drop dead from exhaustion. The scariest of all is that sleep deprivation is going to lead to a whole lot of problems. But Dr. Murphy is still hopeful that they're going to find the solution. They're doing experiments on an old woman who can actually sleep. She's the exception. Ask me how they found her in such a short amount of time. It's a bit unrealistic, but let's move on. Jill keeps quiet about the fact that her daughter Matilda can also sleep. She doesn't want people to do experiments on her. She wants to get to her daughter as quickly as possible because she's scared that someone's going to find out this information. When she gets home, she finds out that Matilda is not there, but at church. Churchgoers are nuttier than ever. The pastor is preaching that Matilda is a beacon of hope. For some ungodly reason, everyone wants to sacrifice her. Doesn't sound like the Christian thing to do, does it? Jill and Noah try to stop them, but Doris refuses to give Matilda back to them. What a horrible grandma. After a struggle and someone getting shot in the head, Jill and her kids manage to escape to the woods. Jill finds a car to get Noah and Matilda out of there. My question here is, weren't we told that electric devices were malfunctioning? Moving on. So, what's causing this mass insomnia, and is there a cure? Heading to the library, Noah finds a map because Google Maps are no longer available. How can he even figure out how to read a map? Seems like such an ancient thing to do. I don't even know how to read one. How about you? But this little family has a clear destination, the hub. Just when it seems like nothing can get worse, it does. An escaped convict steals their car while Matilda is still in it. Do you know what they say about leaving kids alone in a car? It's a bad idea. This movie's not exactly the family drama you're looking for. The suspense never stops. You have no clue what's going to happen next. All of a sudden, more prisoners appear, threatening Jill and Noah. Then a man called Dodge appears out of thin air with their stolen car. He saves the day by picking up Jill and Noah. Aw, that's so sweet of him, don't you think? Somewhere along the way, they come across the wreckage of a plane. They all quickly scavenge around for supplies that'll help them survive. Jill quickly gives Matilda a driving lesson. This one's so random, you kind of laugh at this scene, but it makes sense since Matilda is the one with the most energy and is able to sleep. Everyone else would cause an accident with their sleep-deprived brains. Matilda is obviously distressed because she is told that she will be the only survivor as everyone else will die. Again, they're all attacked by more people. Luckily, they finally reach their destination, which is the hub. Jill sneaks in by herself, acting as a lab worker. She's looking for the old woman who can also sleep, just like Matilda. But this old lady is in terrible condition. She looks extremely ill and on the brink of death. She tells Jill that she should have died months ago. More tired than ever, Jill wants to give up because she now knows that there is no cure. In her last desperate attempt, she begs this dying woman to raise Matilda. Sounds like a great plan now, doesn't it? Not like this old bat's going to live very long. The suspicious and evil Dr. Murphy pops up from around the corner, sneering at Jill. Jill tries to convince her that she is there to help. Racing against the clock, these scientists are searching hard for the cure before humanity is wiped from the face of the earth. Murphy is one step ahead of Jill. She injects a drug into her neck to help her stay awake longer. but it comes with side effects, that being brain damage. Nice. They see a flare outside, so Jill realizes that Dodge and her kids have been discovered. The army terrorizes Jill up to the point where Matilda tells them that she can sleep. Oops, things are about to get ugly. Matilda tries to work with the doctors to find the cure, but she is misled. They show Matilda an ape that cannot sleep, even if it's been given anesthetic gas. Out of all the animals out there, apes like us are the only ones who can't sleep, so they give the same gas to Matilda, who immediately falls asleep. Doctors who experiment on patients and animals cannot be trusted under any circumstances. Do you know why? Because Matilda's mom, Jill, is handcuffed in another room. That says it all about these people. Jill has delirium, now thinking that her son Noah is trying to kill her, but he isn't even in the room with her because the doctors are trying to find similarities between his brain and his sister's. Dr. Murphy comes to see Jill. She demands answers as to why Matilda can sleep and no one else can. All Jill wants is for Matilda to be set free. As you can imagine, Murphy says no because the survival of mankind rests upon Matilda's little shoulders. Dr. Murphy has figured out what is causing insomnia. It's apparently a solar flare that has impacted humans' lymphatic system. This causes everyone's internal clocks to fry. Well, that clears things up, doesn't it? So what about Dodge? Where is he? He is made a guard and shot up with a concoction that's keeping the rest of the guards awake. Suddenly, the ancient woman who can sleep gets a heart attack and dies. This death sets off two of the soldiers. They're out of their minds and start shooting at everyone. Jill grabs Matilda and they run away as far as possible. Descending into madness, Noah cuts a wire and electrocutes himself. He is dead, but his mom and sister defibrillate him. He can sleep now too. Matilda is the only sane person around. She finally realizes why she can sleep. That's because she died for a few seconds on the day the car crashed. She drowned, remember? But the police officer brought her back to life through CPR. The kids realize that they have to do the same to their mom. Noah and Matilda quickly load her into a truck and head off to the nearest body of water. The kids take their dear mother to water and drown her. Wow, that's a big thanks to the woman who gave birth to you. But they give her CPR and resuscitate her. You look through Jill's lifeless eyes and then blackness. She gasps, the end. One theory about this movie is that Jill, being a recovering addict, was relapsing and imagining all these events during the trip. And what's your take on it? Try not to analyze too much when you watch Awake. Yeah, the special effects are pretty mediocre, and what you can take away from this movie is that there isn't really a cure for this insomnia other than to die for a few seconds and be resurrected. Everyone else dies, but before they die, they turn into violent, murderous, and selfish people. But the movie is super entertaining and keeps you at the edge of your seat the entire time. Watch Awake and tell us what you think. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment.